Hey, everybody. My name is Kyle. We have Rick back here, and we're going to just talk a little Star Wars while we're watching the Nats play baseball, too. So we're going to be totally informal here. Go Nats. And Cole, you suck.
Come on, Max.
Yep. Cole, to you Astro fans, I'm sorry. I don't usually use that kind of language, but when it's baseball like this, competitive.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Rick, did I tell you that I have now a season ticket holder for the XFL DC Defenders?
That's awesome. You know, you got a place to stay when you come up.
Yeah, $200, man, for 2 tickets. We're right on the bottom, right by the first of the line, right in the end zone. So there's no one in front of us, right? So it's just us in the grass in the field and so forth. So
you have to take me to a game.
So we get to heckle the kickers.
Yeah, where are they playing at? Where's their stadium?
They're playing at Audi Stadium in southwest over there by Nats Stadium.
Oh, so yeah, okay.
It's where the it's far from you, but not far from where I gotta go to.
So we if we go, we risk being robbed then.
Correct. But you're not too far from Capitol Hill, so there is Capitol security there. So maybe that'll overflow into that. So
yeah, can you imagine? You know, the Capitals won a Stanley Cup last year. If the Nats win the World Series, this town will go nuts.
You mean the Mystics teaming? Is that what you said?
Yeah, well, like, you know, the Caps won the Stanley Cup last year, and if the Nats win the World Series this year, I mean, this town will go nuts. And then of course you got the Redskins.
Well, the Mystics won.
Oh, I guess. I didn't even know that was still a thing.
I'm sorry?
I didn't even know that was still a thing.
It is. Let's get back here. Let's talk so back people can see us.
All right.
So well, the Mystics, I really pulled for them this year.
That's like watching high school basketball.
Yeah, but if you're into coaching, you like spacing and you like layups, you know, every fast break is a risk because they might miss it.
Yeah, I don't get into any of that.
Yeah, I feel you. Okay, so we got a lot to talk about here. So what I want to first give a shout out to is to the YouTuber who gave me permission to do this. This is Star Wars Coffee. I sent him an email. He has a review of all the spoilers that we think is going to go down for the Force Awakens, Last Jedi / whatever the movie is called. What's it called, Rick?
The Rise of the Shit Pile.
Yes, that. And so we're going to go through this. It's a little bit of a long video, but we're going to kind of keep it in casual. We're going to watch the video and we're going to pause it every now and then, and we're going to talk about what we talked about. So pay in mind what you hear, because we're going to also relate to the spoiler. Well, we're actually going to relate to the trailer that came out yesterday and kind of tie in what this review talks about it versus the actual trailer itself and how that ties into each other. And so we're going to play it and we're going to pause it. We're going to watch baseball. So sit back, relax, and if you're here this long, that means you're probably going to stick a little longer because you're hearing us ramble or whatever about sports and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
But so Star Wars Coffee, thank you so much for that. I'll put a plug in the end of this. Check out his channel. He's got some cool stuff about Star Wars spoilers. And the last warning, this is going to spoil the whole movie. Not that you should care, because this movie is going to be a total train wreck anyway. So we might as well be warned ahead of time. So that being said, let's kick this bad boy off. And I'm going to be watching baseball too. If I can do 2 things at one time, we would do that. Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Coffee, where today we're going to be diving into updated and expanded of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. Yes, this is what you have all been asking for in the comments, the Jedi Paxis Rise of Skywalker updated and expanded. So there will be a spoiler warning here for this video. This is The Rise of Skywalker. If you are new to this channel and you love Star Wars, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button on this video. And any other
so thank you so much for Star Wars Coffee for this. Hopefully we can do some more stuff.
Luke is training Leia as a Jedi. Lightsabers are involved, and Leia reveals to Luke that she is pregnant, and Leia makes the decision to end her Jedi training due to the impending birth of her son, Ben Solo. Next scene, the present. You become a Jedi. Rey is first seen doing some mental force training, but she is struggling with this. She asks Leia to do some physical training courses instead, and this is where we see Rey doing the jungle force.
Poor Leia.
Yeah. So this kind of matches up with the opening shot of the trailer last night with her in the jungle.
This planet, Jedi Praxis, does not have a name. Supreme Leader Kylo Ren has been aware of a dark power behind his predecessor, Snoke. Kylo has been spending his time as leader of the First Order with the purpose of locating this power. Generals Hux and the new General Pride have been following Kylo around on his quest and are beginning to be frustrated with what they feel like is just a chase for nothing. They see this as a waste of the First Order's resources and time and get very
You know what this is a chase is? It's a chase to explain Ryan Johnson's movie.
To find Darth Vader's Wayfinder. The device reveals coordinates within the unknown region.
What was that?
I say when they said it was they're chasing something, I said what they're chasing is a way to explain Ryan Johnson's movie.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the MacGuffin, right? So they're against the Wayfinder, wherever that is. I wonder if that's the knife that was talked about in the spoiler section from Mike Zero today. Are you familiar with a knife that has like a Sith writing on it?
Yeah. So if you watch the trailer, that one scene where it looks like Rey and Kylo are almost in like a Bespin type setting, and they shatter. I believe it's Darth Vader's helmet, like on a pedestal. She's got a Sith dagger in her hand, and supposedly that Sith dagger has cryptic writing on it that leads to one of the Wayfinders.
Oh my gosh, you know more than I do. Want to take over from here?
We'll see.
Kylo is confident that this will reveal the source of Snoke.
Yeah, so some of the stuff I've been watching, these are like the guards to like when Kylo is looking for the Wayfinder, whatever planet they're on. I can't remember the name of it. Like, but they're the guards to the one Sith artifact for the Wayfinder that was like Palpatine's.
On the Millennium Falcon, accompanied by some unfamiliar characters from the Resistance, traveling to meet a First Order informant. The informant, which is an alien, is acting as a middleman between the First Order mole and the Resistance. The First Order arrives and begins to attack the base, assaulting their heroes where they're clearly outnumbered and have to make a quick getaway. Lightspringing involves making this jump to light speed without plotting a course. So as we remember, making the jump to light speed without calculations, as Han has told us, has had dire consequences. And this is what our heroes will be doing. The Falcon makes a handful of springs to the First Order off of their trail, but they are forced to deal with the consequences of such a risky maneuver. After surviving this, they plot a course to the secret Resistance jungle base to meet up with Leia and Rey. Next, we're heading to the unknown regions on a planet called Exegol. After obtaining Vader.
So in the trailer, there's that jungle scene. I heard there's two jungles. There's Endor, the moon of Endor, and then there's another unnamed jungle. So I'm assuming that's the first one that they're going to first.
All right, so let me ask you this, because I used to always get confused about this. So in Return of the Jedi, they were not actually on Endor, right? They were on the forest moon of Endor. So Endor is a separate planet, and you got the forest moon that they were on with the Ewoks, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Because everybody always says, "Oh yeah, they're on Endor." And no, I don't think we've ever actually seen Endor. They were on the forest moon of Endor.
We've never seen Endor. That's correct, I believe.
All right.
Device, Kylo travels to the place specified by the Wayfinder. It takes him to the unknown regions.
What is the Wayfinder again?
You know what I pictured as? I pictured as the just like the compass in Pirates of the Caribbean that Captain Jack Sparrow always carries around. That's what I think. It points you to whatever you want in life, whatever.
Below the planet's surface, he follows the drift down and finds an old man near death and lying in bed, being tended to by cloaked aides. This is Darth Sidious. Kylo initially dismisses the old man, knowing the Emperor died over 30 years prior to the forest moon of Endor's collapse. Feeling that this must be a trick, Kylo claims that there must be some other explanation, such as the man being a clone. Palpatine refutes this idea and affirms that he has indeed survived his fall. After his defeat at Endor, he left the known galaxy and traveled to the unknown regions to rebuild his empire. Despite his skepticism, Palpatine begins to...
Okay, let's pause it here real quickly. So essentially, the Knights of Ren helped lead him to this location, so he would actually come across Palpatine, and Palpatine explains that he's been dead. Well, he's been around 30 years, but he went to the Nether region, which is basically something from Rebels, right?
Yeah, so Rebels established that there's and I can't remember what it's called, but the Rebels established that there's a way that you could, move in between areas or whatever. And so I guess the theory is that when Vader threw Palpatine down the shaft, that blue light you see at the end of Return of the Jedi is like how they're going to explain it is Palpatine being transported to this other planet. And that's how he survived.
Okay, just want to make sure everyone's up to speed on this.
So Rebels did establish, and I can't imagine that they thought that far ahead. And Rebels like, okay, so when Rian Johnson screws up The Last Jedi and they're going to need to fix it, we need to come up with a way to bring Palpatine back. So let's put this in. So I don't know. I think that's what JJ is banking on, is that Rebels establishes so he can use it.
Yeah, JJ's got a really big job to do on this one.
Yeah.
Subsequently tells him of something known as the Force dyad. The Force produces two incredibly strong users, but when they unite together, both become stronger than either one could be on their own. Palpatine tells Kylo that he believes this is him and Rey. Palpatine tells Kylo that he wants him and Rey to rule after he is gone. Palpatine orders Kylo to bring Rey to him, to turn her so that the dyad will be strong, a unified force of darkness. Palpatine also reveals that he has been amassing an armada of Star Destroyers equipped with Death Star tech. Each one
had to throw up. Sorry.
Yeah.
General Hux and General Pride are tasked with rounding up children in large numbers to train and staff his armada. Next, we go to the Resistance jungle base, where Finn and Poe return to the Resistance, bearing the knowledge obtained from their encounter with the First Order in form. The duo brings the knowledge to General Leia Organa and tell her what they know about Kylo's mission to the unknown regions. But without any leads of where he went or how he got there, the Resistance is at a dead end. Leia mentions that she might know someone who was sinking a leak between the unknown regions long ago and may be willing to help.
It almost reminds me of the opening scene of The Force Awakens with Luke Skywalker has vanished. Now they got to find this map to go find Luke. It's like almost the same thing.
It's a treasure hunt, right? I mean, it's like they're condensing Endgame into 2 hours. It's like, so you have he stumbles across Palpatine. Palpatine tells him about his goal. They try to raise some kids and some armies so they can staff his armada, which we'll get into later. And then they know that then this is Force Dyad or whatever it is, where it's like the Force brings up two entities that are equal strength, whatever, to do whatever, I guess, for balance purposes, I guess. So then then they notice that Kylo is no longer he's like, I guess he's under the radar now. I guess he's off the grid. So they don't know where he is. Now they got to find someone who's happens to be Lando, who has no difference between these two things to see if they can.
Yeah.
Did I get it right? Or
yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
It gets worse, guys.
Yeah.
To meet with her contact and see if he may be able to provide
Pisana
help to the Resistance. Next, we travel to Pisana. When our heroes arrive on the planet, they discover a giant festival is going on. What they thought would be an easy mission has now turned into a much more complicated affair. They attempt to lay low and blend in. Unsurprisingly, Chewbacca struggles to blend in as a 7-foot-tall Wookiee with prying eyes.
Poor Chewie.
Yeah.
Who takes a liking to her, presenting her with a handmade necklace as a gift. She is asked her name and she responds Rey. When asked her family name, she replies she doesn't have one. At this time, Kylo establishes a connection with Rey.
Uh-oh.
Their Force bond. The conversation ends with Kylo grabbing the necklace from around Rey's neck. The necklace proves to be the key to the First Order discovering the location.
He just grabs it out of nowhere.
Apparently, yeah.
At this point, instead of finding their contact reveals himself. After having spotted
Colt 45. He should have a Colt 45 in his hand.
Yeah. How you doing, Chewbacca?
Start choking him again.
Yeah.
We can save Han.
They tracked Ochi to Pisana when the trail went cold. When met with the question why he never left the planet after the search for the dagger, Lando tells them that he had a young child at the time of his and Luke's quest.
See, I thought they were setting up the child to be Finn.
Stole his child. After having failed to protect
Stole Lando's child?
Yeah, I thought that they were going to set the child up to be Finn that was stolen from Lando.
I thought he only dated robots.
Lando points them in the direction of the last known coordinates of Ochi's ship, where the Trill went.
He's got Jerry curl now.
Yeah. And you know it's definitely his kid.
Was that his kid?
No, that's what I thought they were going to set up.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But it's going to be that new female character.
It triggers some memories. It's the same ship that we see leaving Jakku in Rey's vision from The Force Awakens. Before the implications of this can sink in, the ground beneath them gives out, and the crew gets sucked below the surface of the sand. They find themselves in a series of underground tunnels where they discover the remains of Ochi and the dagger Luke sought after. Rey feels very strong connection to this weapon, but can't quite articulate it. The dagger has writing on it in a language that nobody can identify. It's then handed over to 3PO, who identifies the...
So let's recap here real quick, because I'm kind of lost myself. I've watched this 5 times. I still know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So Lando. So I guess what's the deal with Rey and her parents? Did they establish that her parents were killed and that they basically were trying to find her? And the memory that she recalls was the ship going up. They couldn't find her and left her on the planet. Did this?
Right. So yeah, if I remember correctly, they dropped her off on Jakku essentially to like protect her from Palpatine. And then the parents left. So and then she was left in the care of Unkar Plot there on Jakku. So that's what my understanding is.
There's a rumor that her parents were actually killed and that they were trying to kill her too, but couldn't find her.
Mm-hmm.
That's also part of it. It's also a rumor as well. I don't think it's essential to the plot at all. Just that she was left there for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And so now we're into C-3PO with the red eyes. And I mentioned this in yesterday's video about the trailer about him saying, "I'm here to see my friends who I just met, who never even talked to for the last time."
Oh, I got so mad when I saw that. I'm like, so let me get this straight. So, you know, R2-D2 and C-3PO had been in every single movie, like all of them. And, you know, we grew up watching him with the original characters and even with the prequels. He hasn't spent any time with these guys. And it's like, oh, I just want to take one last look at my friends. No, your friends are Han, Leia, Chewie, Luke, you know, all those guys that you actually like spend all the time with, not these guys that you haven't even done anything with. And I still want to know what they were going to do with his red arm. You know, they established his red arm in The Force Awakens, then they never explain it. I mean, unless you follow the comics or the extended universe, you know, it's explained there. But otherwise, it's you know, it's like, well, wait, didn't he have a red arm in The Force Awakens? Why did he have a golden arm now? What happened with that? Don't even.
There's a whole theory that Bad Robot had some licensing agreement that it feels 20% different or 10% different, like the rectangular on the Millennium and other things that they could use and sell it for Bad Robot's merchandising.
Yeah, so essentially they screwed up all the characters just for money purposes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Writing as a Sith language, but he reveals that he's unable to translate the writing due to restrictions of his program.
So now, if he's a protocol droid and can speak 6 million languages, why do they have to reprogram him to speak one Sith language? Wouldn't he like already know that, or one is 6 million?
Exactly. How many languages are out there? I mean, you can't.
Yeah. To find a way out of these caves. During their escape attempt, the team runs into a giant aggressive sandworm. A battle with the sandworm ensues, and our heroes end up backed into a corner, preparing to meet their fate when Rey notices a small detail. The worm is injured. In a display of a previously unknown power, Rey is able to heal the worm's injuries, satiating the worm and providing the heroes the chance they needed to escape. Once the crew exits the cave system, they see.
Did you catch that? They made up a set piece where they're fighting this huge monstrous worm. Of course, Rey, not only does she have the ability to heal things now, she has the ability to interpret and see things, you know, that the worm, whatever it is wounded, and now she's able to do that, heal the worm, and get out of Dodge. Because they're trying to establish the fact that she can heal things later. It's just so convenient.
Yep.
The First Order Star Destroyer in the sky and know that Kylo Ren is there. Once they realize this, they reason that the First Order would have already found the Falcon, making the plan to escape impossible. The Falcon is boarded and subsequently taken back to the Star Destroyer. It's on this ship that the crew discovers the new droid, D-O. Rey senses
Do?
Kylo is coming from her, so she takes off on her own and buy her friends some time. This is where the TIE Interceptor flip sequence from the first teaser takes place. While Kylo and Rey are engaged, the Knights of Ren and the First Order head for OG's ship and our other heroes. Chewbacca splits off from the crew and attempts to delay the Knights, but is captured. The dagger is taken from him, and he boards First Order prisoner transport. Rey and Kylo both notice Chewbacca being taken captive and brought to the transport ship during her confrontation with him. As the ship takes off, Rey shifts her attention from Kylo to her captured friend and begins to use the Force to stop the transport to pull it back to the ground. Kylo control over the ship.
I'm not even gonna pause that.
Yeah.
Much like the battle for Anakin's lightsaber in last chapter, Kylo begins to gain the upper hand, which angers Rey, and her frustration, lightning, shoots from her hand, destroying the transport ship and killing all its passengers.
That's kind of cool, though. That's like Star Trek Discovery. You have Michael; she goes crazy and kills everybody.
Yeah, and I wouldn't mind so much, like all the stuff that she can do. If they really are trying to set it up from the beginning that she's going to be related to Palpatine. I mean, obviously, he's like the most powerful Force and Sith, and it makes sense. And I kind of see some of the groundwork that maybe JJ was going with that all along, and then Ryan kind of screwed it up. There's some hints in The Force Awakens that maybe they're trying to do that. So I'm fine if they want to make her like one of the most powerful Force users, but at least give her some character and some failings and having to learn, not just like she's just this badass from day one.
Yeah, and we'll see later on that even the mistake she does here wasn't really that big a deal.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
In the air, just in time to fly over and pick up a distraught Rey. With no Lando, no Falcon, and no Chewbacca, our heroes limp away from the desert planet. The heroes of the Resistance make their way to the snow-dusted planet to execute their plan to discover what secrets the dagger held. Despite not being in possession of the dagger anymore, 3PO tells the crew that he has the message committed to memory, so all hope is not lost. Poe tracks down an old contact of his, Zori Bliss, who brings them to a small creature named Babu Frik to hack 3PO's programming to read the language of the dagger. Frik tells everyone that he can unlock the message to be read, but in doing so, 3PO's memory will be wiped.
That fits in perfectly what we saw in the trailer yesterday.
About finding another way to
get
the job done. But in an act of self-sacrifice, 3PO voluntarily consents to the droid's modifications, knowing that the droid we've known all of these years will essentially die. According to the sources of Jedi Paxis, this scene is reportedly the most emotional one in the film. Frik completes the hack, and 3PO is now able to read the message inscribed in the dagger. This action sequence creates the red-eyed 3PO that we see in the D23 footage. The translated text points them to the location of the Emperor's own Wayfinder. Having served his purpose, 3PO's memory wipe begins and he shuts down. Once the memory wipe is complete, 3PO reboots with a completely empty memory.
That's going to suck to watch.
On this planet, Kylo initiates another mind bond with Rey to try and divine her location a second time. Kylo spends much of this time antagonizing Rey. Some of this conversation revolves around her parents and the truth behind the dagger. It was once used to murder her parents. Many years ago, Ochi was sent to murder Rey's parents, who were trying to hide Rey from the galaxy. Ochi succeeded, leaving her parents as nobodies to be forgotten by that galaxy. Where Ochi failed was with Rey. He could not find her, so he left her behind on Jakku. This is what Rey remembers, the ship leaving in the wake of her parents' murder, not her parents abandoning her. Rey lashes out at Kylo during this bond, and their lightsabers clash. Having gotten everything he needed from Ray during the session, he cuts off the bond. The Star Destroyers arrive after having followed our heroes there. As Kylo makes his way down to the planet, Zori helps the Resistance escape by employing the use of something described as a First Order passage device, something that transmits a signal recognized as friendly to the First Order, allowing the ship to pass uninterrupted. As our heroes make their escape, we see that Palpatine's orders, Hux, and Pride are being carried out as children are being rounded up by soldiers of the First Order. This next sequence takes place on the.
They're entering a lot of information, a lot of different MacGuffins, a lot of pieces in here just to drive the story forward. I mean, I kind of jumped the gun with the whole thing with Ray and her parents, but yeah, so that was supposedly her parents were killed, and they were trying to find her with the dagger and whatever, couldn't find her and so forth.
And sadly, nothing that we saw in the trailer yesterday contradicts anything that we're seeing right now. It all lines up and it all fits in. It's like, doesn't leave me with a lot of hope that maybe something's wrong.
I'm hoping there's like a last scene we'll get to that in a second though. I'm hoping a last scene, maybe they can change that part to make it more satisfying.
Yeah, or maybe we'll get lucky and JJ's watching this video and going, "Oh crap, they know what's happening. Let's start it."
Man, Kyle and Rick, man, they're on it.
As the heroes escape on Ochi's ship, the group makes the decision to use the passage device to board the Star Destroyer and recapture the Falcon. The device works as advertised, and their ship lands without question. On board the Star Destroyer, the droids log on to the ship's computer network to locate the Falcon. But in the process, they discover that Chewbacca is still alive.
Woohoo!
Of course he is.
The team hatches a plan to rescue him, but Rey splits off, feeling as if something is calling to her. Meanwhile, the others find Chewie, but their rescue attempt fails and they are all taken captive. The calling Rey feels is caused by the dagger, which draws her to it in Kylo's living quarters.
Let me stop here. Sorry, we kind of skipped over Chewie dying. That's kind of a big point here. So basically, Rey, in her anger with Kylo, she basically her fourth lightning destroys the transport, and Chewie, we think, is on that ship, and he's dead, and she's upset and so forth. But of course, being a Mary Sue, she can do no wrong. So guess what? Chewie's back.
Well, see, and I already knew Chewie wasn't going to die because if you follow like some of the extended universe and whatever, I mean, it's been well established like how long Chewie lives and actually when and where he dies. So it's like unless they're planning on rewriting the entire history, it's like yeah, he's not dying.
Oh, you knew that already. Yeah. When I first saw this video, I almost cried.
Yeah, no, I mean, I saw it and I was like, all right, so they're gonna set it up and try and pull on your heartstrings that Chewie gets killed, but it's like he's coming back.
Well, in the Thrawn series, well, not Thrawn, but in the Legend series, he got hit by a moon or something and died. So I guess this is better than that.
Yeah.
Back on the planet's surface, the planet, having grown tired of a fruitless search for Rey, Kylo initiates another force bond.
Sure, why not? Another force bond.
Yeah.
He discovers she's on his Star Destroyer, and a lightsaber duel breaks out between the two of them across two different locations. Kylo on the surface and Rey aboard the Star Destroyer. During this encounter, Kylo reveals that there is more to the story behind Rey and her parents. Rey is the granddaughter of Emperor Palpatine. He tells her that they are meant to join together on the dark side, and that it's all part of the Emperor's plan.
It is your destiny, Rey. Hey, come over to my house for some cake and some ice cream.
Go for Papa Palpatine. What's in the Millennium Falcon?
Hansen Chewbacca's effects and the dagger and tells him to make a run for it while she stalls Kylo. When it appears that all is lost for our heroes,
of course,
captured by the First Order, General Hux arrives and surprisingly not only allows them to escape, but points them in the direction of the Falcon.
Ex Machina.
Yeah.
Information from Rey and the other heroes make a break for the Falcon and escape. After they leave, Kylo kills Hux for treason against the First Order. From this point forward, General Pride is the sole commander of the First Order military. The Emperor contacts Pride and demands that he use one of them specifically equipped Star Destroyers to destroy the planet and act as a loyalty and pride complies. Next, we travel to Endor, where the information gleaned from 3PO's translation of the dagger's writing leads to the location of a second Wayfinder device, which turns out to be aboard the wreckage of the second Death Star on the forest moon of Endor. Along their way to the wreckage, the crew comes in contact with a person named Jana.
So hold on a second. So they're saying that the Death Star actually crashed on the same forest moon. So not on Endor, but the forest moon. So essentially where the Ewoks and all that stuff is, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So like when you see the in the teaser trailer that dropped at Celebration, where the big ocean and half the Death Star sticking out.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be on Endor because we've never been to Endor proper. We've been to the forest moon. So I'm like, oh, okay, now we get to see what Endor looks like. Because if it says a forest moon, where's the freaking ocean that you see, So it sounds from this that he's saying it actually went on the forest moon where all the Ewoks are. At least that's the way I took it. So
Ewoks are dead. So basically, it was an extinction level event.
One would think, yeah. Ewok.
No, oh, by the way, I gotta say this. So when Darth Vader's statue thing gets destroyed, Mike Zero on his channel said that he didn't like that because, and by the way, he's a pro Star Wars guy. Even he said it's almost like they're trying to destroy everything from the original trilogy. Taking out that Darth Vader, whatever, is like, taking out Darth Vader symbolically, and of course, landing the Death Star on the moon of Endor is killing off all the. I'm being funny here, but it would be funny if all the Ewoks were dead. They have to explain why they're not there, right? I mean, where are they?
Yeah, it's just one more thing. They got rid of Luke's lightsaber, in Last Jedi when he tossed it over his shoulder and then broke it, in the throne room fight scene. So yeah, destroying Vader's mask is one more thing. So how many masks did Vader have? Because presumably
three. At least it is three.
Well, you would think, okay, presumably, Kylo had one in Force Awakens, or he had all melted one. So was that the one that burned on the funeral pyre in The Last Jedi? I mean, maybe he had some more on Mustafar that somebody could go. I mean, I'm just wondering, like, where they get all these Vader masks from, because at least one, maybe one blew up on the second Death Star.
We know his costume is different between very different episodes and stuff. So maybe they got one of the old versions.
Yeah.
Oh boy, can we just get to this quickly? This is painful.
It's a child, but eventually escaped, found her way to Endor.
Looks like a man on base.
For some time. At this time, it is revealed that she is the child that Lando lost to the First Order all those years ago.
Seriously?
China provides weapons to get to the Death Star record.
Maybe having Finn be his kid would be too obvious and too on the nose.
What was that?
I say, maybe having Finn be Lando's kid would be too on the nose.
Yeah, and the fact that she's on the planet, I guess that kind of makes sense. I mean, at least it's like a person we never met before. Well,
my thing is like, okay, I hardly know my next door neighbors. How big is the freaking Star Wars galaxy that everybody's interconnected on separate multiple planets, that they all know each other? I don't even know all my neighbors, and apparently you can be like half a galaxy away and still find your dad.
Within 5 parsecs.
Yeah. Right.
Oh boy.
She eventually reaches the Emperor's throne room and discovers a chamber.
Come on, Nationals, come on.
To that room that contains the second Wayfinder. Rey approaches the object and picks it up, which induces a vision
Someone's hurt.
of a possible future of herself. It is in this vision that we see the dark side Rey, as seen in D23 footage. Jedi Paxis also confirms that his sources have told him that we hear the Emperor's voice in this scene. The vision shocks Rey, and she stumbles back into the throne room where Kylo Ren is waiting for her. Kylo takes possession of the Emperor's Wayfinder, destroys it, and indicates to Rey that the only way to get another Wayfinder is to go through him and take Vader's. A lightsaber battle ensues, beginning in the throne room.
The third one.
Transitioning to exterior wreckage among the waves. Back to the Resistance jungle base. Off in another part of the galaxy, while Kylo and Rey clash lightsabers.
So sorry to cut off here. So where's that fight done? Was that on the Death Star?
That's the way I take it. I mean, and looking at the trailer footage, that's what it seems like. They're fighting on the wreckage of the Death Star.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Bright light in the universe begins to fade. Leia is dying. Before her death, we hear the voice of a familiar hero come to bid her farewell and pass on a last bit of knowledge. As their battles rage on, both Kylo and Rey sense the death or respected death of Mother and Mentor. They both react, but Rey recovers from the shock sooner and leverages that moment to take Kylo's weapon from him and stab him through the chest with it. In the aftermath of their Rey declares to Kylo that she will never be like him.
Yeah. So he takes a lightsaber through the chest, but somehow still survives.
To save Kylo from death, steals his ship along with Vader's weight.
So mom's dying. They both have a moment. Of course, Rey, being the Mary Sue that she is, she recovers quicker.
Mm-hmm.
And she distracts him. He's distracted, grabs his weapon and stabs him to the chest, and then says, "Oh, by the way, you're dying or you're dead. I'm not gonna be like you. So here you are. Let me give you a helping hand. Let me heal you because I just healed the worm. You know, in the first act. So obviously I can do this. Oh, and by the way, peace out."
Yeah.
Is that about something?
Yeah.
Fighter aborted and takes off, leaving her enemy behind. After Rey leaves the forest,
I gotta say this. She be kicking dude's butt, man. Look, man, if I was him, I'd be like, I would look, I am nowhere near you. Girl, you know what? I mean, this scar on my face, that's all I needed, yo. You got this. All right, peace out. I'm gonna, galaxy's yours. I'm chilling.
Yeah, he's not gotten the best of her once. I mean, he's got spunk that he keeps coming back for an ass kicking.
Energize the buzzy, man. Keeps take a whatever it is. Keeps ticking.
Along with her newfound ally John, having spent the duration of Rey and Kylo's fight repairing the ship, and return to the hidden base on the jungle planet. Broken and defeated, Kylo Ren remains on the wreckage of the second Death Star when he is visited by a vision of his father. Han speaks to his son, telling him that it's never too late to return to the light and make the right choice.
Never mind, you murdered me, son.
Yeah. How'd that lightsaber through the chest feel?
Rey returns to the island on R2. Throughout the course of the film, she has given in to her aggression, nearly killed her friend by unleashing a stream of lightning on a ship. Learn that she's the descendant of a Sith Lord who reduced the Jedi to numbers that they had yet to recover from, even half a century later. Saw a vision of herself as
Darth Plagueis.
stabbed an enemy through the chest in anger. The most recent encounter with Kylo was the last straw, and Rey has now made the decision to follow the example set by Luke and exile herself on the island where the Jedi began.
Another punk move.
That is a weird still shot.
Like Joe Biden.
Yeah. Creepy Luke.
Luke's conversation with Rey is said to be encouraging, yet realistically grim in tone. Luke knows firsthand what it's like to face Palpatine, and it's not an easy task. Rey must confront Palpatine in the same way that Luke once had to confront Vader. Luke encourages Rey by telling her of the faith Leia had in her. She saw potential within her and hoped that Rey would be able to restore balance to the Force once more, just as Anakin once did. Rey supposedly asks to speak at Leia at one point, but Luke responds by telling her that Leia has not yet completed her training and cannot yet feel her distinctive consciousness within the Force. By the end of their conversation,
So I guess Rey didn't learn how to do the Mary Poppins move through space.
The Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
I only seen that a couple times. What happened there?
What?
Moved through space.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the Leia?
I said, Leia said she hasn't completed her training. I guess she didn't teach her how to do the Mary Poppins.
That was kind of awkward watching that. So.
Yeah. And agrees to leave the island. Having destroyed the ship she used to come to Anak to, Luke raises his own X-Wing, previously seen submerged in the coves of the island.
Throwback to Dagobah.
Yeah.
In addition to the starfighter,
And I'm sure she has no problem raising it.
Why didn't she just do it?
Yeah.
She stopped training, and Luke kept it on him. He then points Ray to where he kept it safe in his hut. Ray boards the X-Wing, armed with coordinates for Palpatine.
Can you imagine how soggy that seat would be?
From Vader's way.
How soggy?
Yeah, that thing's been underwear for so long.
We head to the Resistance Jungle Base. After returning to the Jungle Base, several things happen.
Well, Poe gets a new X-Wing in this one.
Mhm.
R2 reveals that he has a backup of C-3PO's memories.
Of course he does.
Is able to restore the droid to mostly.
He's just now saying this now.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe he can reset his memory to episode 4.
Captain Antilles.
Yeah.
Having changed his mind, coming to the Jungle Base, and wanted to help however he can. It is at this time that Ray begins transmitting coordinates into the unknown regions obtained from the wayfinder to Resistance.
And Han dies of hypertension.
Moving to the unknown regions.
Might as well kill everybody else off.
Yeah.
Ray follows the coordinates found in the wayfinder to the same spot Kylo did earlier in the film. Ray lands outside the giant cube floating above the ground and makes her way through the same underground passages. The cube, composed of black rock, floats several meters above the ground and is so massive that one corner cannot be seen in frame. As Ray travels down into the depths of the planet, giant Sith statues can be seen. Where Ray
Did they mention the iceberg apocalypse? Iceberg thing? That's the rebel. I was told that was the rebel base. I wrote it down. I didn't bring it here. I don't remember the name of it, but it's supposed to be rebel or not rebel, but resistance base.
Yeah, I don't remember mentioned in this video, but you do see it in the trailer. I mean, unless that's again, like we were talking about with the whole TIE Fighter Gen Urso distraction thing, where it's never in the movie.
Oh yeah, that was bad. That would have been a really good scene.
Oh yeah,
That was never in the movie.
Yeah,
that was great.
Kylo's experiences begin to differ, coming with Ray discovering Palpatine. Palpatine is not in the same chamber that Kylo discovered him in, but in a huge arena surrounded by.
This one he has that walking throne with life support.
Mm-hmm.
Palpatine is being supported by some kind of mechanical arm.
2-2.
Connecting him to life support machinery.
Who did that? Was that the?
Begins to confront Palpatine. During this conversation, Sidious report.
All right, just so you guys know, the World Series is going on. We're both from the DC area. The Nats just tied it up. Who was that? I can't see from here.
Let me see.
Soto. Soto is a beast. Oh, there's some guy named Bryce. What's his name? I can't remember his name. Whatever. But Soto's awesome. I'm Bryce. If you're watching this, I can't feel sorry for all the money you got. Look, he basically got for $30 million more. That's what he went to Phillies for. I think the Washington was giving him $300 million.
Mm-hmm.
I know $30 million is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say it. I'm saying he could have done that, but in the grand scheme of things, I mean, after taxes, does it really make that much difference? I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, whatever.
It's hard to believe they're better off without him.
Exactly. We got Nobles too. He's also too though.
Yeah.
Very much like how he encouraged Luke to do with the same thing 30 years prior, telling her that only in killing him will she gain the power needed to save her friends. Palpatine also apparently makes statements alluding to the belief that Vader could not betray Luke due to their familial bond, and that the same kind of bond would ultimately cause Rey to do whatever the Emperor wishes. During his taunts, the sickly Sith opens.
Okay, so let me back. I was talking over that with the Nationals thing. So basically, she confronts Palpatine. Palpatine's talking trash, and essentially, he's basically saying that this force bond that you had with Luke, Luke had with Vader, caused him to be weak and caused Vader to go down. And this same bond that you have with Kylo can cause you to go down because you can do whatever I tell you to do. Was there anything I missed there?
No, I think that's about it. That's probably where I think in the trailer where he says something about you two joining forces will be your undoing.
Thank you for filling it. I was trying to remember that part. Thank you. Thank you for that's what I was trying to get to. Yep, thank you. So I'm trying to shut up. I don't want to just pause it because I know people are wanting to watch this, trying to see this, but I at least want to comment where I can. But if it's important enough, I want to at least recap what went on so you guys don't feel lost.
The roof of the stadium chamber, revealing that the sky above is filled with Star Destroyers. soon to be embroiled in conflict with the approaching resistance. As the battle between the First Order, Empire, and the Resistance begins to rage in the skies above them, Rey gives in to the Emperor's commands and decides to strike him down. Through means that are still a bit foggy to me,
Oh, Kylo looks sad.
the Death Star and his former persona behind and travel to Exegol with the purpose of joining Rey to help her face down Sidious. Before leaving the Death Star's wreckage, Ben abandoned Kylo's lightsaber, so now he's walking into a war zone with no weapon. When he arrives on the planet, he encounters the Knights of Ren, who are guarding the entrance to the arena where Rey and Sidious are. Ben reportedly dispatches each of them using only the Force. After doing that, he enters the arena as Rey is about to strike the Emperor using Leia's blade. Ben grabs Anakin's lightsaber and warns Rey to reconsider what she is about to do, to not kill the Emperor in anger. Seeing Ben arrive pleases Sidious. He then uses his power to bond them together and begins to siphon power from that bond and direct it into himself. As the power flows into him, the once silky and decrepit Palpatine stands tall and strong once again, restoring himself to a much younger, healthier state. Now we go to the skies over Exegol. While all this action is happening on the ground, much more explosive events are happening in the sky. The Resistance and the First Order are locked in battle. The details I have on what happens during this branch of the plot are a bit sparse at the moment, but here's what I have been told.
Sparse, you got everything.
Yeah. Sounds like he was in the writer's room.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Taking out the flagship will supposedly sever communications with the rest of the fleet, prevent them from being able to navigate the perils of the unknown region.
Okay. Did we not learn in the Phantom Menace about the droid ship, the command ship? You got 15,000 or 15 billion Star Destroyers with all this Death Star tech, but you got one little command ship. If you can figure that out, they all go. Come on, man, seriously. It goes back to the Avengers, Ultron. It goes back to the first Avengers.
Mhm.
At one point during the battle, Finn and Jannah, joined by others, land on Pride's flagship to destroy it. They recognize this as essentially a suicide mission, but Finn and Jannah in particular see they may have to pay, and is worth it, to prevent more children from being abducted like they once were. One of my sources described it to me like a D-Day type mission for the Resistance, where they attempt to land onto a moving Star Destroyer amidst the battle scene. Having returned to full strength, Palpatine shoots lightning into Ben, forcing him to fall into a bottomless abyss, never to be seen again.
Wait, isn't that what happened to Palpatine? He fell into a bottomless abyss, never to be seen again?
Out to episode 12.
It's lightsaber versus lightning, and at this point, when it seems like they have all hope is lost, the spectators of Luke and Leia come to their aid. They jointly work toward overpowering the Emperor, deflecting his lightning back toward himself, killing him and unleashing an explosion powerful enough to make the arena start to crumble around them. Though Sidious, at last, and the Sith Lords is finally done.
Until episode 15.
Phil Disney needs more nostalgia money.
Rey escapes the crumbling arena. Back on the Resistance jungle base, having won the day, the survivors of the battle regroup at the jungle base and celebrate. What follows is apparently celebration across the galaxy, once again mirroring what is seen at the end of Return of the Jedi. Back to Tatooine. For the end of the film, the heroes then travel to where everything began.
I'm getting teary-eyed.
Sand-swept planet.
Did they establish why they go back to Tatooine?
And at this moment, Rey has disassembled.
No.
Yeah, I don't know if he ever set up why they feel the need to go back or go to Tatooine. Like, and how does Rey even know about Tatooine?
Maybe Lando.
But how does Lando know about it?
Well, he was there, remember? And the huts.
Oh, that's right, he was. Okay, yep. All right.
But he might not know the significance of it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I was just trying to figure out why. I mean, I'm from the nostalgia point. I get why they want to end it where it all began, but how are you going to explain why Rey goes to Tatooine? All right.
Maybe there's a Ben Kenobi.
Yeah.
Don't look so excited.
Yeah.
Anakin and Leia's lightsaber, and use their components to construct one of her own that contains a yellow blade. Rey buries the leftover pieces beneath the Tatooine sand at the site of Lars' homestead.
I can see George Lucas now. We don't have yellow blades.
Yeah. All right. Now, here, pause it for a second.
Yeah.
So this is the only thing that I think may be a little off from the trailer, because if you look at the opening scene of the trailer, the very opening scene where she drops the helmet or whatever and she's running, her lightsaber blade has a different color. And so what I think is when she's been training is she makes the blade at the beginning and it's a different color. So he's saying that she makes the new blade at the end.
Okay. Yeah, I think she's making her own lightsaber.
Yeah. I think at some point they do have to, show her like making her own lightsaber or whatever. But from the trailer and what you see in the trailer with a different color in that one scene, I maybe she does at the beginning, but he's saying he does at the end. All right, go ahead.
As Rey turns to join Finn, Poe, Jannah, Chewie, R2, 3PO, BB-8, and D-O, a stranger calls out to her. The stranger apparently speaks of how nobody has been listening to her in a very long time, and asks Rey for her name. This is the second time in the film that this question has been posed to her, but unlike her response on Pisana, Rey has decided who she was. She gives the name Rey Skywalker to the stranger. The primary meaning of the title of the film. As Rey begins to rejoin her friends, she catches
best film ever.
The assembly of heroes look off into the distance at the horizon of the desert planet and watch twin suns set on the universe filled with hope. The end.
All right, so that is it. So, thoughts?
So she is not really related to Palpatine then. So I was under the impression beginning to think that she was related to him. That's why she's so strong. But after watching that again, I don't think it is established that she's related to him, right?
Well, he said she's a grandchild of Palpatine.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I must have missed that part again. Yeah, I
I
thought
don't know how that's possible.
Yeah.
He conceived her like the Force, because remember he said Anakin came out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
No one knows his father. And the rumor is that Palpatine spawned Anakin.
Right.
So is that the same kind of thing with her? Or did the Force spawn her? Because the Force has to have a dueling. There has to be two people that are like in the Force. That the Force brings people up to balance each other out.
Yeah. Yeah, because I thought I remember seeing it or hearing it that she was the granddaughter. Which again, so I wonder how much of this JJ was trying to lay the foundation of in The Force Awakens, because I remember in The Force Awakens when everybody was like, before Last Jedi came out, everybody was like, "Who is Rey? Is she a Kenobi? Is she Luke's daughter? Is she related to the Emperor?" And everybody pointed out that if you look at her fighting style in The Force Awakens, it mirrors Palpatine's fighting style in Revenge of the Sith and all that. The way he held the lightsaber, the way he attacked and everything. It's like, she's got to be a Palpatine because look at how she's fighting. So I'm starting to think maybe JJ was laying the groundwork for this all along. And I don't know how much, we'll probably never know how much Rian Johnson screwed it up or what the original plan was. But I'm starting to piece things together now from The Force Awakens where maybe they really were going to go this way the whole time. I don't know.
I don't mind how it, I know I'm a little cynical on this whole thing, and some of these parts in this film seem really, really exciting and cool. With her going in there, Palpatine, to take him out. But it's just done in such a way that by this point you don't care anymore. So the emotional impact is not going to be what it could be. Yeah. Have they spent the time in The Last Jedi to really develop that character, keep Luke alive, maybe have Luke maybe disappear at the end of have him disappear at the end of Last Jedi, and maybe since you're making up stuff anyway, what difference does it make? Have him pop out of nowhere, out of the netherworld, at the last minute to save her. Obviously, you can't do that with Leia because she would have died regardless. But that would have been a nice ending. That way, you give her the entire movie basically to do her thing, and you've already established that. Give her some conflict. Give her some. This whole thing was built on the hero's journey, which was a basic thing where the hero has to struggle and go back and mess things up and correct it and then finally get to the path. But she's never had any kind of struggle. There's never been any kind of goals in her life or aspirations other than maybe finding out who her parents are. That's really about it. And what's the whole deal with Leia dapping her up all the time and acting like, they're best friends?
Yeah. So like in The Force Awakens where they had the one of the first trailers where you hear Snoke go, "There has been an awakening." So if Rey really is the granddaughter of Palpatine, then I could see where somebody like Snoke and Kylo being so strong in the Force could sense somebody that potentially powerful coming into their powers. Like if she was nobody, like right. what Kylo's trying to set her up to be, who cares? And then like there's the one scene in The Force Awakens where Rey helps him escape and Kylo's on his ship and the guy says, they escaped with some girl. And Kylo's like, "What girl?" And he grabs her. So it's like
right.
I think had an idea of who she was and why she was so important. So that's why I kind of wonder, like, okay, was that the long game that they were trying to build up to her being related to Palpatine and Ryan kind of messed things up and now they're trying to just get it back on track? So that's what I think now. I was watching I think maybe that's what JJ wanted to do all along, but Ryan just took him in a different direction. He's got to get back on track.
I wonder if he wanted to kill Snoke though. That would mean they would have to kill Snoke off as well.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that video never addresses. Like they never go into, like the Emperor explaining who Snoke was, or Kylo explaining who Snoke was, or what role he plays. So I don't know what Snoke's role was, but I'm okay with her being related to Palpatine, but it just still would have been nice to see her struggle a little bit and not continually kick Kylo's ass every time they meet. Because I'm with you. It's like if you constantly getting your ass beat by the same person, when you see that person coming down the street, you walk on the other side of the street.
Exactly. And then he goes out like a complete punk at the end.
Yeah.
Because once the Emperor became the big bad, no longer needed him anymore. Mm-hmm. So there he goes.
Yeah, and plus I think I know Adam Driver wants to show his face for his acting ability, but I think he would look better with a helmet on through the whole movie.
Yeah, and he's a good actor. So.
Yeah.
So
hey, they didn't cover anything in that video about the space horses.
They did not. Yippee-ki-yay.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out in that trailer if they're actually like riding space horses on top of a Star Destroyer in space or where that is, because in the background you see Star Destroyers floating in space. So I don't know what they're on.
Yeah, they have. I guess they have the ability to survive outside a zero vacuum.
Yeah. What about the people riding it? Are they all doing a Mary Poppins?
See, you're a troublemaker. Well, hopefully they're probably gonna have a 20-minute interlude saying how the horses are mistreated and how we need to make sure that we really are considerate with our animals and make sure that we don't ride them in space with no oxygen.
And when I first watched the trailer last night, I thought it was the same creatures from Canto Bight that Rose and Finn were like trying to rescue and had this big deal about with a stupid horse racing or whatever. I was like, oh, don't tell me they saved all those damn things and brought them in to ride them on a Star Destroyer now.
Did you see the Star Wars poster that came out?
It actually looks pretty badass. I would probably get that.
I like it actually. It's got a throwback to various.
Yeah, I'll have to add it to my collection in here.
It's got a throwback to. I'm trying to pull it up. It's got throwbacks to the Hoth bottom, and I think they're trying to bring the different posters together.
Yeah.
I can't. My internet's kind of slow here. I can't pull it up.
I was gonna send you a.
Here it is. Here it is. Go ahead.
You've seen all the Star Wars Robot Chicken episodes, right?
No, I have not.
You haven't seen them? Oh my gosh! All right, so I don't know if you've seen this one or not, but I was gonna send it to you today. Where I was like, this movie would be totally worth seeing if they have a scene in there where Palpatine's walking through the Death Star, and like everybody is like Emperor, and he's like Stormtrooper, 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 and then finally, after like everybody acknowledging him, he's like, "Screw you, fuck you, screw you." You haven't seen that one?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it is hysterical. I was like, if they could pull like put a Robot Chicken reference into Star Wars, I would love it.
Yeah, let me see if I can find this here. Robot Chicken, is that an ongoing show?
Yeah, it's still going on. They made some episodes lampooning Last Jedi. They did a Mary Poppins lampoon of it.
Can you see this? Can you see the poster?
Oh yeah, it's badass. I would totally get that one. I didn't get Rise. I didn't get Last Jedi, but I'll get this one.
It's the whole thing in frame now. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, right down here, it's got the Hoth thing going on there, and yeah, I think it's the best one so far.
Yeah. Now that you say it, the one on the bottom, yeah, it does remind me of the image of Luke riding the Tauntaun for Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, and according to Mike Zero, he was basically saying that there's gonna be a lot of all the movies combined, throwbacks, like callbacks to that sort of thing, and that you'll see even the prequel, you'll see callbacks to that as well. They're gonna try to tie it all together some way, but nothing I really have to say really about this is, and you can talk on this if you like, is what do you think the impact is going to be for fans to come back? Because what I'm hearing is, from people like at Midnight's Edge, if you go back, check them out, Geeks and Gamers, Jeremy out there, World Class Bullshitters, Macarena 49, I think her name is, just many other YouTubers out there. All of them are basically saying, you know what, this is not going to bring us back, that we just feel empty, that the trailer seemed empty. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a letdown for the saga to end like this. Again, I'd be curious to know if they actually had a plan for this trilogy, and if Ryan came in and just screwed it up, or if they were just winging it for each movie. But they could have done so much better with it. I think what might bring the fans back is The Mandalorian. I think if that does well, and if they can get the Kenobi series going, I am so ready for Disney Plus and to see The Mandalorian. So.
Yeah, I agree. I think The Mandalorian, I saw the TV shorts, whatever, looks really impressive.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to get people hooked again. Especially like with some of the nostalgia with that. I mean, I remember seeing the trailer where they had IG-88. I was like, oh man, we see IG-88 in Empire Strikes Back for all about 10 seconds, and on the Star Destroyer with all the other bounty hunters, and then you only see his head again in Cloud City where he's about ready to be melted down by the Ugnaughts. Now,
is he the one, the tall, the robot one, the skinny one?
Yeah, he's this guy here. He's this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, but yeah, in the trailer, he was like actually moving around and like shooting weapons. I'm like, oh, that looks so badass. I can't wait for this to come out.
It looks real. I mean, it almost looks like it's a real movie. I mean, it looks like they're using practical effects. Like it doesn't look like it's overly CG'd on this. At least it looks like it's gonna be a lower budget type movie, like a Western type movie, where they can use practical effects and limited CG.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm imagining it's going to do really well and get the fans in, and hopefully that'll give them a reason to do the Kenobi series. I'd watch the Kenobi series. I think, there's so much you could do with that with him, and you could even bring Hayden Christensen back in, as an Anakin at some point.
He'll do it.
Yeah, bring him back in, show Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen as Vader, having some battles and stuff, and because then it would kind of set up where in A New Hope, when Vader ends up killing Ben Kenobi. Spoiler alert. He says, when I left you, I was but the learner, but now or yeah. So they could set all that up, in a Kenobi series where they could show them periodically getting into it, So it's more of a payoff in A New Hope. At least that's what I think.
Yeah, I think the relationship in Clone Wars is really, really good. I think Clone Wars is an amazing series. Has that come out yet? Is that next latest season come out yet? Or is that going to be Disney Plus as well?
I don't think I've seen that come out yet.
I think that's going to be on Disney Plus as well.
Yeah.
The new Resistance, I have not watched any of that.
No, I haven't watched any of that either. Did you see in the one spot of the trailer from last night with the I wanted to talk to you too about the image of the Falcon with the round dish again. Where did that come from?
I guess they didn't get the memo of the 20% difference.
Yeah, so now there's
20% difference to somewhere else.
So I wonder if George Lucas was watching the trailer and going, "Oh, they got the round dish, more money."
Doing the whole Manziel thing, right? On that same note, I got a note here. Ghost. Did you notice that the ghost is in that shot?
That's where I was going with that. When they showed the you see the ghost in the background, but then I got off the tangent with the round dish.
So the ghost, for you guys who don't know, the ghost is a ship on the animated series. Which one is it? Rebels.
Yeah.
Rebels.
Yeah.
It's a very popular ship. I don't know why.
Yeah, and did you see Ghost was actually in Rogue One as well?
I did see that. I did hear that. I didn't see the actual. It's an Easter egg, correct?
Yeah. Well, it was in the final battle scene where they they go try to break through that force field on Scarif and all that. So yeah, there was just a real quick shot of the Ghost in that scene.
It would be nice if they could have done that in the series, but they stopped short of that, right? So
yeah.
The series pretty much gets up to that point with the beginning of that movie. Well, not the beginning of the movie. The beginning of the movie is a flashback, but essentially right when what's the character's name? The female Ursa.
In Rogue One.
Yes.
What, Jenna or so?
Jenna Ursa. Yeah. So right when she's an adult is when the series Rebels ended, right?
Yeah.
So it would be nice to have overlap there with the animated series, or they could have done like maybe like a special, but with the main character being gone and one being dead. I don't know what they could do with that.
Yeah.
I forget the guy's name. I forget the two main characters' names.
Well, there's Ezra,
and who was the blind guy? The guy who went Freddie Prinze, who went crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? You see that interview?
Crap. Yeah, I can't remember what his name is now. All right, I'm gonna have to look it up.
Anyway, I'll talk about Freddie Prinze a little bit. I didn't watch the actual interview. I hear he just goes total, F-bomb crazy with the fans and about people being upset with, I guess, this whole thing with people not wanting to be part of actually getting really part of the fandom menace.
Yeah.
I didn't see any. I didn't want to see it because I didn't want to feel badly about him, but I heard it was really, really horrible how he was coming down the fans.
Kanan Jarrus
today coming down the fans too, trolling the fans.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that. What was that?
Ryan Johnson was trolling the fans, talking about "I love Star Wars" and tweeting out stuff like to basically antagonize folks.
Yeah, that's what he does best.
Also, I was going to talk about real quickly. I'm kind of jumping ahead here. The ticket sales. I know this is all subjective. It's not analytical. It's not scientific. But I went out to look at some movie theaters in my town. The 6:00 show for I guess it's the 19th. It's a Thursday midnight show. Was basically the first show was sold out. But every show after that, including the IMAX or the 3D version of it, was all like either half empty or totally empty. And I know that's not a big deal because it's the first day, but I know that I'm seeing on the internet how Adam Movies, like a website like a Fandango, was saying that we've broken all records with the Force Awakens of all time. Okay, well, I'm sorry, but when Endgame came out, the second day you couldn't find good seats. It was all front row, like looking up like this. And the only reason why I was able to get seats is because my theater opened another fifth theater in the movie theater, so I was able to get in there and get some seats. But I mean, I'm not saying that's going to be an indication of how it's going to do, but it's definitely an indication of early ticket sales, in my opinion.
Well, so here, I looked up real quick. So like we have a theater near us called Leitersburg Theater. It's like, one of the ones where you can like the leather seats and all this stuff. It's a nice theater.
Yep, I checked those right there. Yep.
Yeah. So I looked up for the pre-sale for Rise of Skywalker. So on Thursday, December 19th for the 9:20 p.m. showing, which you would think would be like a primetime showing, there's currently, I don't know if you say, you probably can't see. It's probably too much of a glare. There's 52 seats available.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. That's not, yeah.
And I know I tried to look up for Endgame, and for a week, you couldn't get anything. I'm like, with a pre-sale, you couldn't get anything. And even after when it came out, you couldn't get anything.
That is correct. And I'll tell you, and if you guys think we're being petty on this, I waited 8 hours to watch the first Phantom Menace. People who waited over a month, the Force.net, those guys did over a month for the first. Actually, it was a month for the first one. I think 3 months for Attack of the Clones. It was just insane. And then, of course, after that, by Revenge of the Sith, it started to die down because people could buy early tickets. But even with the Force Awakens, that first day you could not get on the website at all. And same thing with The Last Jedi. You couldn't. That was a little bit better done. But after Solo, we saw what happened with Solo. It was a huge drop off, and so the franchise is definitely trending downward, unfortunately. But Disney needs to make this work because they need to sell more tickets. They need to sell more tickets to the parks. They need to sell more merchandise. And poor Rose Tico, I'm dying for my Hot Toys full-featured Rose Tico doll, but I'm not sure if they're going to make one.
I almost threw my shoe at the TV last night when I saw her in the trailer. And I have nothing against Kelly Marie Tran. It's just that character is worthless.
She has nothing to do, and she killed Boyega's moment. He was going to go out like a champ.
Yep.
You know what? He was about to go out like a Hall of Fame number in the rafters.
Yeah, I have no doubt that Kelly Marie Tran is the sweetest girl and a good actress and all that, but that character Rose just does not belong in the Star Wars. And you could tell that character was just shoehorned in there to fit the social justice narrative of what they wanted to get in Last Jedi. Yeah,
and that's all we're saying here. That's all we're saying. In fact, I want Rey. I love Rey in the first movie. I thought she was fantastic. I thought for a first-time actress, her ability to cry on demand and I thought she was just perfect for the role. And I want her to be as powerful as she possibly can be with the right kind of journey, right? And just don't show it in there because otherwise it's going to be like you're taking us for fools, and it takes us outside of our movie. We're taken outside of it, and we lose the enjoyment. As far as Rose Tico is concerned, same thing with her. If she has nothing to do, you're just insulting your audience.
Yeah,
and you're ruining her career. I mean, that's kind of, you're not doing her any benefits. I mean, look, if I was asked to be a Star Wars movie and say, hey guy, Kyle, you're going to be in a Star Wars movie. What's my role? You're going to be a stool. A stool, yeah. You're going to sit on your all fours, and we're going to eat drinks off your back. Perfect.
Yeah. How much do I get paid for that?
I'll do it for free.
Yeah.
Oh, free. So, like I said, much love to the person who plays that role. It has nothing to do with her, but I just feel sorry that they didn't give her something better to play.
I know. Yeah, it's so sad. It just seems like that they're like, okay, we got to create this character. We're not gonna, give her any development, but we got to have her because the Force is female and put her in here, and she's got to lead this mission to Canto Bight. It's just a whole waste.
Yep. And she turned from a fanboy, or in this case fangirl, into Boba Fett. Like when she figured out that he was like lying to her, it's hilarious.
Yeah,
that was her best scene. Actually, that was her best scene. I thought that at that point they could have just put her in somewhere later, but that whole adventure wasn't even needed.
Yeah.
So anyway, what's the Nets doing?
I think it's still tied up.
Oh, we got on base again. Sweet. All right, cool. So is there anything else you want to talk about? I mean, I'm willing to stay on any longer, but I've gone on my notes. I'm kind of covered it. I'm sure the people who are watching this, if you're still on,
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there was anything else in the trailer that stuck out to me.
There was. We didn't talk much about the Death Star tech on the Star Destroyers.
Oh, so yeah. So there is a scene in the trailer where they are in the throne room, the Emperor's throne room from the Death Star 2, because you can see the remnants of the big window and his throne.
Oh yeah.
So I'm thinking, okay, if I remember correctly, that thing blew up into a million pieces and survived a plummet from space into the forest moon of Endor. It could have been a catastrophic, life-ending impact. How is the furniture and the chair still intact?
You know what? That kind of reminds me of Game of Thrones. The last scene we see the Iron Throne.
Yeah.
How it's like all burnt up from whatever, and this snow coming through. It kind of reminds me of that. But to your point, if you watch the video, if you watch the clips, you're right, man. It just blows up into like a billion pieces. And with this special edition, there's a halo that comes out of it.
Yeah. Now I understand that the Death Star is pretty massive, so there's going to be big chunks that land, on the forest moon of Endor. I get that, but I can't imagine that the entire, unless he had like some kind of like, it was like 4-inch wall concrete walls or whatever, how that thing survived intact, other than they just want to make it a nice set piece for the movie.
Now you can have people like going in there and watching the video and breaking it down and doing calculations based on the estimated dimensions of the Death Star, the dimensions of every single speck on the thing, calculating how many specks are on the screen, and then backing into how much mass is actually there, and then figuring out if those specs can account for a throne room.
Yeah. Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. The last time I saw that, it was being blown into 1,000 bits. And you're going to tell me it survived a fall from space?
It's got some broken windows.
Yeah. So and clearly, okay, if like on Endor, there's an atmosphere where all like Luke and Leia and Han could breathe when they blew up the tractor or the beam that was protecting the Death Star. Wouldn't that thing have burned up and coming into the atmosphere as well?
Yeah.
So you got the explosion of the Death Star, burning up in the atmosphere, and then impacting the surface, but somehow it still survives, and the chair is still intact.
And killing all the Ewoks.
Yeah.
And so the throne, you mentioned it, it's actually art design. I had the name written down back in the Return of the Jedi.
Ralph.
That design is actually the same design that was not used. So that's kind of.
Yeah, and they've got Palpatine's turned into Vader, where he needs all the life support now to stay alive.
Yes.
So when you think that, like, if Rey's all that big and bad, and if she sees that he's got all these hoses hooked up, why can't she just use the Force to, like, basically plug on him?
I can't wait to see how it should have ended.
Yeah.
The movie's like 5 minutes long.
Well, considering that thing we just watched, I mean, they could probably do how it should have ended based on that, and it'd probably be 100% accurate.
It's like the movie starts like this: granddaughter.
Yeah.
Roll credits.
Yeah, I am not looking forward to seeing this movie. I'll go see it in the theater, but I'll probably go see it in like mid-January or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I have to see it because I have to do a review on it.
3-2, brother.
I really don't want to stop this call, man, because we're doing pretty well.
Yeah. Let me see.
Stop the call, we end up losing.
Yeah. What inning are they in here? If they can get game one, that'll be huge. Let's see.
Yeah, because it's a 2-3-3. It's a 2-3-2 series, right?
Yeah. So they're on top of the fifth. And I always thought that the National League had the advantage in World Series because they get the when they play in a National League park, the pitchers have to hit. So the pitchers are used to hitting, whereas opposed to pitchers from the American League are not. I always thought the National League had the advantage in World Series.
My wife is a big National League fan. She thinks I won't tell her what she says about the American League and the DH.
Yeah.
However,
Plus, yeah. I mean, I think the DH rule in the World Series again benefits the National League because then you can throw a real hitter in there, besides a pitcher. But I don't know.
Yeah, it's because I was watching, because like the pitcher has to be able to. If there's someone on base, can you bunt? Right.
Yeah.
If you're not on base, can you at least slap it or hit it, whatever? Or from a coaching standpoint, do you pull your pitcher out, even though he may be doing pretty well, just to get a hitter in there because you need to do something with the bases, right? And so that's a really big strategic thing to do, right? Do you pull out, Strasburg, even though, well, first of all, Strasburg, he can actually bunt pretty well.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is like I don't know what the lineup is, but if they've got Strasburg slotted to pitch, at home, that'd be a huge advantage for the Nationals because Strasburg can hit.
He can hit. He can bunt really well as well.
Yeah,
I think Strasburg has like 20 homers in his career.
Yeah, I mean he's hit some. So, I don't know. I don't know what the full rotation is for the Astros if they got any former National League pitchers or not that had some hitting experience. But that definitely benefits the National League team.
And like I was saying before, that this Nationals team is built for 7-game series. He's only hit 1 home run in his career.
Oh, Strasburg?
That's not bad though.
Yeah, it's more than I got.
Yeah, I have one home run in softball, but only 9 players were there. So I hit a good shot down the third base line, and they only had 3 in the outfield. They could only field 3. They couldn't field 10.
Yeah. Was that on a little league field where the fences were only 200 yards or 200 feet away?
It was actually it was a small field actually. Really good. Oh, by the way, we won the championship this year for the first time in six seasons.
Oh, good. That's awesome. Are you still doing flag football?
I'm sorry.
Are you still doing flag football?
No, heck no.
Oh, okay.
I injured my well, I won't tell you what I injured, but I'm out, dude.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I realized growing up that I was pretty decent football growing up, but I was playing with grown men at that league, and these were men who were half my age, who had played in college, whatever, and I couldn't get open.
Yeah.
I could not. I mean, and one time they threw me the ball, it was picked because I wasn't really open.
Yeah.
I just realized I can't play. I'm not good enough anymore. It was a sad state to me to come to realization I can't play at this level anymore.
You mean having Burt Jones throw to you in the late '80s didn't prepare you for a league and a career in flag football later on?
Burt Jones with half a hand.
Yeah.
So here's the story. So I know him for a long time, and so there's a gentleman by the name of I don't know what his name was. Bobby.
Yeah.
He had an injury on his hand. His hand in the factory. He got his hand cut off and reattached, whatever. But he could still throw a spiral.
Yeah.
And he always wore this Burt Jones jersey. I guess the Colts.
Yeah.
Baltimore Colts back then. I guess was Baltimore Colts or Indiana.
Yeah, they were the Baltimore Colts back then before they moved to Indianapolis in the middle of the night.
Yep. So in those Mayflower.
Yeah.
Fans. So yeah. So I'm gonna put this video up. I want to edit it, I guess.
All right.
I need to edit it. But
holy crap, we're going on like 90 minutes.
Yeah. I'll probably cut down to about 10.
Nothing wrong with that.
Is that a home run?
Oh,
yes.
Another one?
2 runs. Heck yeah, baby. I scored 2 runs.
So was it 5-2 now?
I can't see my eyesight's bad. I
Yep,
said 5.
Yeah, just updated on mine. 5-2.
First of all, I kind of hate this baby shark thing.
Yeah.
But
5-2, baby.
This could be our year, dude.
Yeah.
So are you interested in going into a XFL game?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Now that I'm big time.
Yeah. Did they, I saw who they drafted as a quarterback, but I haven't seen any other draft picks or how they're doing that.
I checked the draft. They got the guy from Ohio State.
Yeah.
So they have like a skill draft, and then they have an offensive line draft, or like So we got like the first pick, I think, or third pick. And so we ended up like a snake draft. So we ended up getting like 1 and then 10. You know how it works. 1 and 10 and then 1 again.
Yeah.
And we got back-to-back picks. So hopefully they took that to your advantage. Because if you get back-to-back picks, you can kind of do a little bit more damage that way. You can kind of get more bang. Average out's the same way, but still, I think you have that snake draft and you're the first, and you get that back-to-back 1 and 10 pick again. I looked at it. Who knows who we have? But we got a coach from Michigan, assistant coach.
Harbaugh? We got Harbaugh?
No, we got the assistant. We got the black assistant.
Yeah, well, what'd be funny is if whoever the general manager is, when they get the draft, are like, we're drafting Tom Brady. It's like, no, that's not how it works.
Or I like Jay McKinney experiment when he had Creed, a free concert from. You see that?
No.
It'll spell Kreed instead of CR. So anyway, you got these college kids, whatever. It's just Jay McKinney experiment is like a candid camera show where he do a prank on people. So he pranks his entire college, right? He says these free flyers out on campus saying Creed will be a free concert, whatever. So then just the stage set up, whatever. So the guy comes up there, and now everybody, are you ready for some Creed? Put your hands together right now. We're gonna have Jack Creed. Jack Creed. So this guy on stage with the guitar, hippie, whatever. Hey, everybody, my name is Jack Creed. How you guys doing? Everybody's clapping and whatever, booing and whatever. It's like hilarious.
Yeah. Here, if you got a second, I want to show you the robot chicken pound.
So that's it for this live stream. If you're still here, thank you so much for checking us out. But also, please check out the YouTube channel, Star Wars Coffee. They have wonderful content out there. Highly recommend it. There's a link below in the show notes, and there will be a link at the end of this as well to go directly to their channel. Please support them. And if you like the content on this channel where we take culture, TV, and movies and we filter it right, please hit that like and subscribe button and that bell icon so you don't miss any future content. And also, more importantly, please share these videos with your friend and anyone else you know, because what's happening now is that YouTube is now using a different algorithm to prioritize their content to larger channels, mostly corporate sponsored channels, for the direction that they're going forward. So it's more important nowadays to actually get word of mouth out, even more important than actually subscribers. So with that, please check it out. Again, don't forget Star Wars Coffee, and I will check you guys out next time.